Okay, so I will be showing you and explaining to you the the code that I made that makes it so you could see the certain numbers in the Fibonacci sequence. So this is a Raspberry Pi, as you could see, with the home screen. So if I open the file up, sort of off of the screen, okay, here we go. Just move it so you could see it. There. Okay. So here's the code, but I'll be explaining that in a second. So and this is Python, in case you're wondering. So if I run this like that, okay, move this out of the side. And I apologize about sort of the recording of like right here. It's sort of not the best if you try to record a screen. Oops. Let's move this over here. Okay. So as you can see right here, it says enter a positive integer n to find the nth Fibonacci number. N equals. Okay. So to do an example, I'll do 10. So I'm going to find the 10th number in the Fibonacci sequence. Click enter. And the next thing it says is right here. Oops. Right here. So enter y if you want to print every number up to and including the nth number. So it would print the first number in the Fibonacci sequence, the second number in the Fibonacci sequence, all the way up to the 9th Fibonacci number in this sequence and the 10th one. And then it stops because that's what I said to go to. Or enter n if you want only the nth number. So I would enter n if I only want the 10th number in the thing. So I'll show you an example of the y in a second, but right here I'll do n. And right here it says 55. Okay, now if I exit this and run it again, then you could see that, okay, so I'll do 10 again, and then I'll say y this time. So now you could see the numbers up to, so 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55. So if you don't know what the Fibonacci sequence is, so it starts with 1 and 1, and then it takes where you're at, and then it adds the one before that to get the new number. So 1 plus 1 is 2, and 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 3 is 8, 8 plus 5 is 13, and so on, and then 55. So I just want to show you one more thing that's kind of cool. If I just run this again, let's do like a large number. It's kind of cool if you do like a large number, like 5,000, and then you click enter and you click Y. It's cool because this part fills in, and then it goes like this with one line in between, and it goes like this with 2 lines in between, and it just keeps doing that until it finds the number.
And so I could probably, so cut this. And note to me, we zoom around like 5 seconds before it ends.
Okay, wow, that took a long time. Okay, so this number right here, starting at the 3 and ending at the 5 right here, is the 5,000th number in the Fibonacci sequence. And this number is this number right here, the one above it, and this number added together. And yeah, it's pretty large. And it's just scroll up. So yeah, it's just huge. And towards the middle there, I put a time lapse, so it would be faster for you, but still, it probably took a while. Okay, now time to explain. So I'm going to make this sort of never mind. So the first line right here is n equals input, and then in parentheses, in quotes, is enter a positive integer n to find the nth Fibonacci number, colon, n equals, and then end this, and then end the parentheses. So what that says it finds the n, it finds the nth number. If you remember this piece, whatever, in the green here, is what it asked you in the beginning. So the input tells you to say this, and whatever the person says, store it as a variable n. So now whatever number you put is now stored in the code as n. And if we go over here, it just says asks. So this is a note. This number sign, and whatever you write after that is not in the code. So it's just a cool thing that you could add if it's like a huge amount of code, so you don't like lose your spot or whatever. So here I just added notes. So this just says asks. So it asks what n is. And now this is n equals int, and in parentheses n. So in the notes I said n equals a number, which means n equals int stands for integer, which means pretty much just means a number, I guess. So yeah. So if you didn't put that, it would sort of make a glitch, and it just wouldn't work. It would just say like error or whatever. And now another variable right here is, this is how you make a list in these brackets. So fib nums is just, it means Fibonacci numbers, and it equals 1, 1. That's the list. 1 and then a 1. So right here it says first two Fibonacci numbers. And the only problem with this is if you type, it's either the first one or the second one. I'll show you towards the end. It is sort of a glitch, but it's fine, because you're probably not gonna need like 1 or 2. So yeah, here it is. First two Fibonacci numbers. So all in the beginning, all this knows is 1 and 1. So okay. And then the next line is for I in range 2, n, and then colon, which means next line, but in the same like block thingy. It says fib nums dot append, and in parentheses, fib nums in brackets -1 plus fib nums in brackets -2. So that's sort of a lengthy block thing. All this first top piece means repeats n times. So for I in range is pretty much just a way to say repeat this many times. So 2n just means, and so the n is the variable, whatever you said. So 2 comma n just means repeat this how many times if you already have these two in here. It starts at 0. If you put 0 n that's what you would do if you didn't have any. So that's why I said 2, because it doesn't start at 1, it starts at 0. So after these two, the first one's 3, which means, so the 2n just means repeat, pretty much just repeat n times for all that pretty much is needed, because you already have these two. It's sort of complicated to explain, but you need the 2n, because if you just said repeat n times, it would give you too many numbers because of these first two in the list. Okay, and then this fib_nums dot append, fib_nums minus 1 plus fib_nums minus 2. So if we read the note, I think it's over. It says last plus second to last, add to end of list. So what that means is fib_nums dot append means you add. Okay, so fib_nums is, if you remember, the list of numbers, and dot append means add to the end. So fib_nums dot append. And now everything after this, right here, is what you add in parentheses. So to find a number in the list, if you don't know how many numbers are in the list, because it constantly expands, as you know, and I can't write a block of code for each time because I don't know how many times the person's going to say this. Is might as well just find out the Fibonacci numbers and write them all in. So -1 means the last number in the list, because if I said 1, that would be the first number, 2 second number, 3 third number. But again, I wouldn't know how many numbers are in the list, so I want to write this -1, which just means the last number in the list, plus, so you add the last number plus the second to last number, because -2, -2 isn't the last one, but it's the second to last one. So that's how you find the Fibonacci sequence, as I explained just earlier. So this is pretty much the main block. And by the time it asks enter y or n, it already knows the entire list. Okay, and then this is this yes or no, it's another variable, just like n is, because it's the same input thing. See, input right here, it's the same thing, and it just says enter y if you want to print every number up to and including the nth number, or n if you want only the nth number. So that's what it asks, and again, it has to be in these parentheses, then the apostrophe thing, or else it won't work. So, and then this yes or no equals str, yes or no, which means, just like we said, int, which means integer, which pretty much means number, this str means string, which means like letters, or a bunch of letters, or like a bunch of letters or characters. So that's how you do like the y or the n versus the number. So that stores it as a string. And if yes or no equals y, so this is just an if then else block. So if yes or no equals y, so this is the if, and then for fib_num in fib_nums, which is a thing that if you put a print right after it, you see print fib_nums, print fib_num, and if you're printing an exact, okay, so I just want to say something for Python. If you're printing an exact number, like exactly what you want, you would put a quotation mark or an apostrophe right there and here. But if you're printing a variable, you don't put that. You just put the parentheses. So print all Fibonacci numbers vertically. So the vertically is for fib num and fib nums. So if you remember, the original variable is fib nums, plural. And if you do, this could technically be anything. It's just easiest to remember if you do this. So I could do for Bob in fib nums, and then, but you would have to print the first one, so print Bob. But I said fib num, so fib num. It's just the easiest thing. Like, usually if the original variable is plural, you would put a singular in the first slot and right here. And if the variable is singular, you would usually put a plural right here and a plural right here. But that's just what you usually do. You don't have to, of course, because it has no idea what fib num means. It's just prints the list vertically. Because if it didn't, it would just go number, comma, number, comma, number, comma, like this and like this. And you agree that it's a lot better vertically, right? I'm just guessing because I like it better that way. It's more easy to distinguish the numbers. And then else, which means technically you only have to do y versus anything else, because it says if it's not y, but technically I just said n to make it so you have something, because it's more confusing if you say enter y versus enter anything else. So I just said n. But technically you can print anything else. It says print fib nums -1, which, if you know, which I already just said is the last number. So only print last Fibonacci number. So that's pretty much it. And so, yeah, it's pretty cool. And let's see, I just want to show you that one glitch thing. If you type the first one, so enter, I think it's 1, and then enter, and then I'll just say y, enter. Yeah, see, because if you say 1, it gives the first 2, but that doesn't matter, because you probably don't want to know the first one anyway. But, and I wonder if 2 works too. Oh, so I could actually make it like this. So if I say 2, enter y, enter. Okay, so yeah, that one's just normal. So the 1 is the only thing that's a glitch, because it enters the first 2. I'm not sure why that happens. If you know like Python stuff, then you could probably better Python, and you could probably find the mistake in here that says that. But yeah, have a nice day, and thanks for watching. Bye.